Just this guy sitting over here waiting on his partner of the show to be like, "Hey, man,
So
what do you
now, I
want?"
mean, I know you guys don't want to look ahead and have the Raiders be a trap game, but you were already talking about this potentially being a trap game
It
looking ahead to the
is.
Chiefs. And
I
now
mean,
you're
it really
looking at Mahomes-less Chiefs. How are we feeling about that?
oh, man, it's a breath of fresh air.
It's not a trap
Because
game
when you're
because our
staring across
defense sucks.
their defense is whooping on Joe Flacco right now, sir, with no Chris Jones.
That's Joe Flacco. Oh, for the love of God! Are we really gonna? We're really gonna go Joe Flacco, Aaron Rodgers? Shut the hell up!
I'm just saying, they're showing out right now.
Both
Sometimes
true.
I swear to God, you just
being
want to be combative just to be combative.
No,
Okay.
I'm serious. I'm watching them put up who's their coordinator? Steve Spagnuolo
I think
for
that's right.
defensive coordinator. Yeah, because he was the old Giants coordinator. Yep. So they have him this year. He is a rotating position guy. He likes to have a whole new field of players come in about every 1 to 3 downs, and that's what I've noticed here. And he's keeping these even the rotational guys, he's keeping fresh. And with those, that means the same Denver guys are staying on the field. And if you have fresh legs almost every other play, yeah, you're going to get beat. You're going to get those sacks. I mean, I'm watching Agba for the Chiefs literally live in Joe Flacco's basement. He's literally there every play asking what's for dinner. So I know it's Joe Flacco. I know it's Denver's offense, but I'm just saying that they're still putting up a fight. They're showing that they're trying to rally around Patrick Mahomes' injury. And look, Drew Brees, Teddy Bridgewater came out and they're 4-0. Kyle Allen is what, 4-0, 5-0 now?
Yeah.
Devlin Hodges, 1-0, fourth string quarterback for Pittsburgh, folks, has now won a game and beat Phillip Rivers in LA. So Raiders is I'm going to get to the Raiders in a second. The Chiefs, I feel better because Mahomes probably won't be there, but I still won't take it for granted. You still have Tyreek Hill. You still have McCole Hardman. You still have Robinson. You still have Kelsey, Shady McCoy, the Williams brothers. I mean, Matt Moore is a game manager, and Dillon stated it earlier as he went to the playoffs that year. Yeah, he might have gotten knocked out in the game, but he still did enough to get to the playoffs. And that took over for old Ryan Tannehill to get out of Miami. But, I mean, there's still enough weapons there to kind of move the offense. It's the same concept in New Orleans right now. So I'm not less scared of them. It's the fact of they can still function, and Reed has a ton of different schemes in his offense to work with.
I think that's a fair point. It's a good point. I like the comparison. I would say, you're obviously dealing with a higher pedigree in Bridgewater than you are Matt Moore, but I mean,
of course, yeah.
I can't turn around now after building Matt Moore up and say that he's crap. I mean, he's not. He's a decent quarterback.
Just dropped a tutty straight to Hill after I just trashed him, so he just made me eat my crow.
Yeah. So I think that's very wise of you, D, to be considering all that and not just be like, oh, we got this one in the bag.
Dillon, was I rational there? Was I rational?
I had to check my computer and make sure the date and time were correct because that seemed like a very rational explanation.
I was just seeing if Jay was paying attention.
He is. He's looking at probably just food on Instagram.
Dropping selfies of those pecs.
Yep, just like I thought. Checking out food. Trying to build up that physique of his.
It's not food.
He's bulking.
No, I have protein powder for that. Thanks. I drink it with my coffee every day.
Avocados are good fat, just so you know.
Fuck avocados. I'm on the meat diet. Protein. You see these teeth? They're sharp. They're meant for ripping shit apart. Meat.
I'm going to leave that doorway alone and before I make any comment to it.
Preferably juicy sausage, baby.
Anyways, so to get to the
See,
Raiders
Dave's
comment,
blushing because he's trying not to say something. That's what makes it
to
more
the
funny.
Raiders comment for the trap game, yes, I mentioned this actually earlier on Twitter that I feel like it might be a trap game. Tyrell Williams is out. Trent Brown, yeah, he's on the IL for a calf, but Dillon, now that legal troubles are starting to build up for him off the field, do you really think he has a calf injury, or do you think Gruden is giving him time off to figure out his off the field stuff? Because he didn't have an injury before.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I wasn't aware of any of that, but it seems like something Gruden would do.
I mean, yeah, he's trying to get his players to get his stuff squared away, but the thing is does he really have a calf injury? If that's the thing, is he going to give his player the week off to figure out his stuff off the field, including the game? That's what I'm wondering.
Here's what's baffling about John Gruden to me, and, forgive me for taking a little trip down here, but you trade away Khalil Mack because you felt like you had to prove a point.
Yeah.
And then you bring in Antonio Brown the very next year.
Yeesh.
And that has been an absolute mess. So now, after Vontaze Burfict gets suspended for the season and Jonathan Abrams takes himself out for the season with the way I mean, it's been an unreal ride for John Gruden. I wish him the best. I actually really like the guy. I mean, I miss him on Monday nights already. So I guess in that sense, I kind of hope failure for him. I hope he gets back in the booth as soon as possible. But
I've met him. I got to fly back to Atlanta meeting him hungover on my birthday after a Monday Night Football game. He's a great guy.
Yeah. So I do wish him the best. I think he's using some coaching tactics.
3-2, though. It's not like they're negative. They're winning.
Just the way he's managing everything going on is very peculiar. But
Josh Jacobs scares the heck out of me.
As far as usage or
our rush defense.
Oh, gotcha.
Our last two games have been solid. We've held Zeke to 62. We held Carry-On to 51 or 52. And Josh Jacobs, I watched him do the Bears defense before their bye. He ran all over Chicago's defense. Yeah, Akeem Hicks was out, but you still got Khalil Mack. You still got Leonard Floyd. You still got Raquan. What are you doing? You playing Two-Face over there, flipping a coin, deciding who lives and who dies?
Might have been my ring.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell Bethany, sir.
That's on air now. Never play with your ring off your finger.
Man.
Bethany's gonna.
I'm new to this. I'm sorry.
God. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, you still Raquan Smith, Danny Trevathan, Eddie Jackson. I mean, you still got a loaded front seven there, and he ran all over him. So that's what scares me a little bit. And then I see Kenny Clark is on the injury report, not practicing with a calf injury. That's a biggie.
Here's what I'll say about that is that the Chicago Bears were not dealing with nearly as much firepower as the Green Bay Packers bring to the table. So I don't think that the Raiders will be in the same position to run the ball. I think they're going to be playing from behind.
Think so? Even with the walking wounded that we're sending on the field?
Hey, you got the Smith brothers. You got Jair. Is Savage playing?
That's something that I've been keeping track of. I think today he was limited. So Savage finally started practicing, but it wasn't much.
And, I mean, speaking of banged up, dude, I mean, look at the Raiders. You're rolling Trevor Davis and Zay Jones out there.
Yeah. Caitlin Doss and Hunter Renfrow is the third and fourth stringers. Yeah, I saw that. So it's kind of the battle of whose practice squad is better this week.
Yeah.
For Raiders and Green Bay. I mean, luckily it's in Green Bay. Weather will probably be a little bit cooler, so it'll be in Green Bay's favor. But, man, it's still just – it feels like a trap game because Gruden, he knows – I don't know. He knows how to, I guess, scheme in game just like Mike Pettin does and LaFleur does.
I have a really important question for you as we approach the 11 o'clock hour. Is Adam Schefter an official Green Bay Packer now that he's taken the Lambeau leap?
No, because he couldn't even get up. They had to pull him up.
That was blasphemous.
All right. Fair enough. I mean, the guy's all of 5 feet tall. I was impressed.
I don't care what Frodo jumped up to. He's not a damn
I am
Packer.
5'8", and I can tell you right now, I could jump into the damn stands and my butt could land on the top of that wall. It's ridiculous. It's not that tall.
You
up
mean
there.
the cute little butt that you were talking about?
The little tiny one that makes my wife's legs hurt when I sit on her. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Makes her legs hurt and her heart pound.
Santa must have hated you when you were younger.
Well, I'm out of questions.
Oy caliente.
Why are we changing language?
Because we're trying to get the most reach we can.
I don't know. I am just over here just making trades galore. That's all.
Oh, he still tried. That's why he was in his phone.
Yes, I mean,
That's
exactly.
why.
I showed you what I was doing, and you weren't paying any attention. And this is very confusing because at one point for the entire show, Dillon was on my screen left, and Dave was on screen right. Then for some reason, Dave decided he didn't want to be seen anymore, pulled an okey doke, and now the two of you are switched. You are now
My camera never
basically
went
left
off.
and right. Your camera did go off because I couldn't see you.
I've seen the green light the whole way. There's a green light staring at me.
So since we're dealing with fantasy files tonight, everyone will be happy to know that the most productive fantasy scorer thus far has been the Kansas City Chiefs defense, 24 points.
Yay.
Not for long.
Is the game over yet?
I'm sure everyone has Kansas City defense on their lineup and they're reaping the benefits.
Dillon, okay, I got a serious question for you. Who has been the biggest disappointment, or no, your top 3 disappointments so far up until this point, to almost midway?
Ooh, man, off the top of my head, I'm going to say Hopkins number 1, Juju number 2, but obviously that's not completely his fault, right? Mike Evans number 3.
Ooh, 3 wide receivers not living up to the hype.
It's been bad. I feel bad putting Juju on that list because, like I said, it's not really his fault. I mean, Big Ben goes out, and hell, your number 2 quarterback goes out. So we'll see with Juju. But, I mean, Evans and Hopkins are solid disappointments. There hasn't been no quarterback change. They haven't been banged up. It's just been a matter of, not capitalizing on the targets and the way game flow has gone. I mean, Chris Godwin has stepped up in a huge way for Tampa Bay this year. I didn't want to believe the hype at the beginning of the season because I was such a Mike Evans guy, but the hype is real and Godwin's legit. Will Fuller's only had 1 big game so far, so I don't know what that says for DeAndre Hopkins.
Disappeared like Casper.
Yeah. So those got to be it for me for sure. You kind of knew what you were going to get out of Bell, right? A lot of catches this year. Yeah. I guess Zeke hasn't been putting up the same numbers that we expect out of him, so you could, I guess, throw him in that category. But you're fine with Zeke so far.
Well, who's your top 3 surprises?
Derrick Henry's right up there, man. I didn't have any faith in him. He was a little banged up coming into the season, and I thought for sure the Titans were going to be playing behind a lot. So I did not believe in Derrick Henry. Obviously, Darren Waller's huge, coming out of nowhere and being one of the most productive tight ends this season. And DJ Chark. I mean, holy cow.
And breaking news.
Yeah, I see it.
Go ahead, Dillon.
Give it to Dave.
Dave, you want to say
it? Julie Voigt trades Nick Chubb, Curtis Samuel to Team Vistif for Tyreek Hill, Tariq Cohen, and D.D. Westbrook. That is a robbery.
Wow.
Can we veto this?
So there you have it, guys. You have Jay taking advantage of
alone.
Exactly what I said earlier in the podcast. He traded for Curtis Samuel, added Nick Chubb to his team, a running back stud, and essentially gave up Tyreek Hill. I mean, Tariq Cohen's got a role. He's a PPR guy. You can always throw in your flex, but good job, Jay. Another fantastic trade achieved by you. You are the relentless one.
I told you I was going to take your advice to the freaking house.
Watch him have a loaded team like that 8-8 Eagles team, and it's the dream team, and watch him lose.
Oh man, this is upsetting to know that someone is really taking a step ahead here.
Ooh, Dillon's feeling the pressure.
I'm not happy about it.
What do you feel more like, Queen